alive! And so is the beach!
Yay!
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly.
Use the front door!
Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Greetings and salutations, my wonderful freaks. I am your Uncle NecRo, and I welcome you all to the Tomb of the Terrible. It's the show in which I get to lovingly assault your senses with B-movie madness.
Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to another episode of Uncle NecRo's Tomb of the Terrible. I'm your stand-in, but never, ever your replacement, Friday. And with me tonight, we have Chaos, Delphine, Ratatosker, and of course, Tom Dog. And we may or may not have a couple of his adorable little friends show up at some point. We never know. How are you lovelies tonight?
Oh, I am exhausted. I had
exhausted.
Hi, Dad.
He is a dad of 3.
I had a couple days where I was off meds, and then I got back on them, and they affect my sleep, and so I'm kind of jumping. Like, I went to bed last night super early and slept super late, but I'm still tired, and I have stuff to get ready for my next show tomorrow, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a nap. Then I'm gonna come back and put like 3 hours in of cutting, pasting, and doing a bunch of stuff for graphics. But yeah,
You got this. You got it down to a science, though.
I do. I go like full zen, and that's why I want to take a nap first, because if I go full zen, I might pass out while I'm in the middle of doing it and not get it done. So I have to be able to be awake and zen into it.
Now I want to know what you do with a library and a ghost with your beautiful art. But anyway, let's get back to the show.
Okay.
Well, Corpse Garden Chronicles.
Oh,
but
yes.
anyway, guys, so we watched The Sand. Is this everybody's first time?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Over here's the screen. Yes. So, what was your first impressions, Del and Ratatosker?
My first impression is that, and this lasted through like over half of the movie, this would have made a really good short, I think. Like, it would have made it a really good 20 to 30 minute movie. But it wasn't. And so that, we'll get into like all the different things. It's basically like, there's kids at a drunken beach party. Yay, they're getting ready, and nobody knows where they're going to be later because they're going to spring break the next day. They're all got their plans. And then they wake up and half people are dead, and then the sand eats people, and then it just drags on a little bit. So but they have to like try to avoid killer sand. It's like playing The Floor is Lava, only in bikinis and such. And yeah, it had the juvenile kind of thing, but yeah, my first impression was that this would have made a much better short than it did a feature-length film.
Okay. Tom Dog?
I came in here with low expectations because when I thought of the title, even when when it was voted last week, I was like, oh crap, sand. Could it be anything worse than rubber? And boy, was I wrong. I was so wrong. I thought this movie would, even when I was going to watch it, I said the sand, okay, so it's going to be coarse, rough, and irritating and gets everywhere. I was partially correct. It was everywhere. We don't know what it was until the end of the movie, for the most part, but I guess the coarse and the rough was the the immature and the the party and everything carrying on and everything. So that was the coarse and rough. Irritating was the guy who told everybody to take the phones and put them in the bag, and everywhere being, of course, the tentacle hentai monster. So yeah, I guess that's what it meant by coarse, rough, and irritating. And but I was highly impressed by this movie. Not to the full extent of being like the best indie film ever, but it really did the job, and the special effects budget showed, and yeah, it piqued, sparked my interest.
Awesome.
My first impression was with this was, first of all, I'm hoping I'm not about to watch what all these cover art pictures make you think you're about to watch. Japanese anime adult film flashbacks, and not the good kind. But oddly enough, it was not as horrible as I thought it was gonna be. And the sad part is, I think I've seen a few scenes of this movie before. I think when I was working in a nursing home, somebody had this movie on their TV, and I caught the scene where the guy's trying to make it to the picnic table for the first time. Yeah.
Okay. That's nursing home fodder.
Yeah.
Dude,
Strange why that ended up on a random movie channel in a nursing home. I had no idea.
dude, they watch a whole lot of Sci-Fi Channel. A lot of the guys at the nursing home we were at, they watch so much Sci-Fi Channel. So it doesn't surprise me. I love the concept. It was my first impression. I wondered where they'd take it and what they'd do with it. And it was interesting how it went. Del Ratatosker, what did you like about it?
Okay. So, first off, as they're running around being all drunk and like making a campfire, out of the blue, like, there's like, the one guy's like, put the phones away, Vegas rules, and this other guy's got a camcorder he's running around with and getting all the, hey, flash me, hey, oh, look, I'm like, they're making out, oh, look, we're all drunk. And two of the guys show up carrying this giant looking, I thought it was a brain thing at first. Hey, Jar Jar. And it ends up being an egg, and I could not find a picture of it, but this is when it was wet in the middle of the night. But this is what it looks like during the day. Like, they carry this to the campfire, and only, like I said, it was all like gooey and stuff, and they're like covered with goo from it. And they're just like, dude, that's not wood. Go find wood. Okay. But nobody, that's it. That's just like, that's all they pay attention. That's all that they pay attention to. So I found that to be amusing, that they bring in this like giant thing and set it by the campfire, and then okay, that's all, we're gonna cover that. Next, I did enjoy the way the sand eats people is these little tentacle things shoot out of it, and it seems to be organic matter that it goes after, and will just like, some people it just pulls into the sand to devour them. Some of them it just eats them. They like try hovering things over. They're trying to do things like, most people are dead when they wake up in the morning. Gilbert is stuck in a garbage can because people are dicks, and they went ahead and took this poor guy, drew a penis on his face that you can't see right here while he was drunk, and stuck him in a garbage can. And so they're all like hanging out, and like, there's obviously, you can see there's two of them that were stuck up in the guard tower, and Gilbert's in the trash can, and you got some folks over there that like slept in the car for the night. And so they're all like relatively safe, but they don't have any food. It is super hot. They have their phones, they're locked in the back of the trunk, and they're going through the lifeguard tower to try to find out what they have available to them. And they have like a book of matches, a couple little, like some vodka, and they find hot dogs, and they're like, let's see if we can see how far it goes. So they're like 4 hot dogs, and they're just throwing them across the sand to see, as they've seen a couple of their friends eaten already and a bird. They're just winging hot dogs across the sand, and they finally have one that lands and it doesn't get eaten. So they're like, that's where we go. We just have to make it as far as the hot dog. So like, their entire game plan through this movie is to try to get playing the sand is lava as like over to where the hot dog landed and is okay. And of course they left the car on all night, or the lights on all night, so the battery was dead and stuff. But it amused me, all of the just stupid little shit that was going on. Like, one of the girls slept with the other girl's boyfriend, and they're like in the middle of all this, like, get over here. Okay, are we safe? Punch. That's for sleeping with my boyfriend. But then they like hang out like sister wives later when everything's going on. And you were talking about the tentacles. The tentacles are, through the majority of the movie, they are just this big. And people complained about that because they're shown even bigger. This is as big as they get. Which is a pretty decent sized tentacle, And but people did a lot of reviews, because I'm doing the review thing now. A lot of the reviews were like, the tentacles, just, there weren't enough tentacles. I waited for the tentacles and we didn't see the tentacles. And as Josh was saying on the covers, like, you expect these tentacles and you don't get the tentacles that you're expecting. And it's not a tentacle movie, if that's what you're looking for. That's why they didn't call it the tentacles. They called it the sand. But so I enjoyed the little amusing parts that were throughout it. And like, I did enjoy also that the stuff that was, wouldn't say it's not like it was possessing the sand, but the stuff that was in the sand was smart enough to start doing things like they figured out that they could use surfboards to try to walk somewhere, because if they were standing on those, they weren't standing on the sand. So it started moving shit away from them, so they couldn't use it to stand upon it to get to the sand. So it was smart. They had to outthink the sand. But other than that, I wasn't thoroughly impressed with this movie. I I think this was the man, dude. Gilbert stuck in the garbage can. Gilbert was the man. So the all the bikini clad women and trying to do things and just not being smart enough to get into a trunk of a car. I mean, I get that they had to bend back and stuff, but I'll go into that later in the next part. So those were the things that I liked. Gilbert and smart sand and silly stuff.
Okay, Josh, before you blow a gasket.
One small thing. Okay, when it came to the guy in the trash can, to be fair, it is party rules that if you fall asleep first, you're fair game. So that was kind of his fault.
Okay.
Mhm.
I just felt bad for the poor guy whose entire rest of his life was spent with a dick on his face in the trash can.
That is fair enough, but again, party rules. He shouldn't have fell asleep first.
He was one of the ones who drug the egg to the party, too.
Yeah.
So there has to be some price to be paid, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tom Doc?
The violence. For an indie film like this, I thought it was going to be bad. A hell of a lot of blood, and just the right amount of blood, and it was perfect. It was perfect for the budget that they had. So I didn't expect it to be like like really gory and everything like that. So with the special effects that they got, it was passable. Um, some of the some of the actors were good. And I'll get to the bad ones that in a little while. The special effects of the tentacle hentai monster was surprisingly very passable. Especially that where it lights up in the dark. That that was pretty awesome. Especially for the budget that they had and the fact that it was able to open up the was going after the door and everything like that. I thought that was really cool. And even those little strands of spaghetti coming up and grabbing them, that was a pretty cool, unique concept as well too. And I like the fact that they kept it a mystery about what this creature really looks like. If it wasn't in the sand and everything, like what would his face look like? What would his the mouth and everything like that? What would it look like? I think that was a really good idea to keep it a mystery the way they did it. And the fact, and at the end of the movie where they span out and show the whole entire beach where it was like indented and everything with the right there, gives you an idea of how big this creature really was. And that was a really good concept, and I like that. The fact that it couldn't feel anything that couldn't drag down anything that was rubber and everything. It had to be like human flesh. That was awesome. That was really good. I felt bad for Gilbert. He was a likable, and like Chaos was saying, that it was fair game. And I've been guilty of that on a couple occasions where I would be the first one to pass out, and I get drawn on, and most of the time they'll just put like penis or just draw a dick right there. But yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. But never have I ever been in a trash can. I think he got did dirty there. And my question was, how the hell did he get in that? How the hell did they put him in this trash can with him being so big? And and I mean, at the same time of it being funny, it also was kind of sad that there was nothing he can do. He couldn't get out and everything, and how spoilers, he didn't make it, but but it really did its job with the gore, with the gore and everything. So yeah, it really did its job, and so yeah, that's what I really liked about this movie.
Okay.
I pretty much have to agree with what y'all had brought up, but at the same point, they did actually do kind of a reveal of what the creature was right at the end when they panned out across the sea or across the ocean, and you saw this big, massive shadow in the water as it zoomed over to another beach. So they did. Anyone who's seen what those things are knows what it was. Anyone else? Spoilers. It's a monster jellyfish. It's pretty much a giant monster box jellyfish.
Okay. I love the concept of the sand and the tiny tentacles and how it had rules. I love the rules of just the skin, or it couldn't touch you if you were if it was wood or rubber or metal. I think the fact that none of the children are getting the schooling we are giving ours with the horror movies and anime and books, to know we don't pick up something that's big, slimy, and egg looking and play with it. No, that's horrible. Parents need to do better. This common sense thing is not cool, man. And because that should be on the list of common sense.
Don't pick up strange objects
that are slimy. We don't pick up strange, slimy objects. That should be common sense in general. But I really loved how they actually tried to figure it out with hot dogs. Unfortunately, none of them had the monster movie knowledge to help them out through any of it, which is saddening.
Stupid teens.
Ours are going to be better. They're getting it now.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, I'm not saying ours are better than your children. I'm saying ours are going to be better at monster movie knowledge than, say, some of these kids in the movies. That's all I'm saying, viewers. But as we continue...
Your kids are better than your kids.
Definitely.
That's not what I said. But anyway, onward. What did you dislike, Delphine and Ratatosker? Oh, yeah. What is Ratatosker drinking tonight?
Oh, tonight, He is drinking some Beam. Good old Jim Beam.
I was hoping he got the peanut butter whiskey tonight. He deserved it for having to go through this movie.
He did, but I didn't feel like digging through his bar. It's huge. There's a large amount of shit over there right now in his bar, and I have to organize it because it's currently half of his bar is living inside of my Infinity Gauntlet. So I have to like.
That's a good place for a bar.
I was thinking of ordering a spice rack. I think that would like.
Oh, that would be perfect.
Yeah, then I could just like set it up for him, and he could just choose what he wanted. Yeah. But
carousel
yeah.
one spins.
Those are expensive, man, for that size bottle. I checked.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy Jamie Kennedy, his role. He shows up, by the way, guys, part of the way through as like beach police, and basically just like tells them like all their pieces of shit and then dies. Spoiler, you know. But didn't care for that. I was just kind of put off by how long it kept dragging on. And like I said, the girl trying to get into the trunk of the car. Have they ever heard of going sideways? If she keeps having problems with it hitting her shins, you know, she could have like kind of gotten sideways. And they're trying to hook her on this like drowning hook thing. And they do it from the very top of the railing. And they could have given her a lot more room if they would have like bent down and done it from the floor, where they also would have been more stable to hold the rod out to catch hold of her. But again, it's the things that you have to put in because people aren't smart. And if they made it so that she could succeed in that, there would have been more movie with them trying to convince people that the beach was eating them, and probably doing the same thing Jamie Kennedy did with, are you on drugs? You're on drugs, aren't you? You're totally on drugs. Who's got the molly? So I guess that's okay. But it reminded me there was a so much better version of this. And it was The Raft by Stephen King in Creepshow 2. And it was a short. So I guess that's maybe why I was getting the feeling that this should have been a short too, because, it's something is attacking. In that case, it's from the water. But in this case, it was from the sand. And seeing this, that was the entire area of where they were filming and where they were trapped in. I don't see the hot dog, but kind of made me go, oh, huh. After it's all said and done, I do like also how all of the tentacle holes went away, like from the giant flapping tentacles that went aflame at night when they were in the car. It just ended, and they filmed the entire thing in this little tiny plot of sand. So it was just kind of a letdown. Like I said, it could have been more, or could have been less, and would have felt like more. That's my deal. So yeah.
Alrighty, Tom Dog.
I did not like Jacob. I did not like him at the beginning of the movie. He's like, put the phones in the bag and everything, and then he was like, those were the rules. That's what I put down. And it was like, why the fuck are you yelling? It's like, and then he's going after this one dude who we barely saw in the movie. I'm guessing he died, and like all the phones were in the thing. There was a lot easier way than how the girls went and tried to get the thing. I like the idea that they were locked up in the car. That's fine, but there was a hell of a lot easier way. Like maybe grab on to the the girl's ankles and unlock it from that position, and then grabbing onto the to the spoiler while getting dragged up. Could have gotten it that way, but instead she lost her fingers, and that's what happens. Jamie Kennedy, I'm not a fan. I don't really like Jamie Kennedy in certain films. There was that one movie where Snoop Dogg was a rat or something like that, but that's not the movie we're talking about. But Jamie Kennedy is. I'm not really a fan of his. His stand up is pretty good, but I thought it was David Arquette at first, but then when the credits said it was Jamie Kennedy, I'm like, oh, and it's like his character died the way he is, and the way that he was just dragging with the various stuff, and this was like, really, I mean, okay, all you had to do was say drugs and carry on, and that was it. But no, he just kept on naming all the stuff, and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. It was like, he's going to die, isn't he? I said, I hope so. It's like, that character's going to die. And I was like, and then, and then the other, with Jacob, he, the way he died, I mean, that was pretty gruesome. He got the worst out of all of them. But like I said, I'm glad that he, got his comeuppance and everything like that. But he got the worst of that. Now I said about the special effects being good, but there's one I have to nitpick into my dislikes, and it's at the end of the movie where it was set on fire. Why did nobody get touched when the illuminated tentacle was like flailing around and everything like that? And it was right near the girl and the car. Why didn't they get hit? Why?
I was kind of hoping at that moment because they poured.
Do you know? I mean, because I don't know. I
Reddit,
really don't.
Reddit Husker wanted to know why they poured gas all around, like right by the back end of the vehicle, where you normally would in a movie if you wanted to blow something up.
Yeah, that didn't
And it
make
didn't
sense
work.
either. That did
Like,
not make sense either.
well, it didn't make movie sense because, like, in real life, you can have fire kind of close to the end of a vehicle, but I mean, I wouldn't do it on purpose. But usually in movies, that means, oh, that's going to blow up. In this case, it just meant.
And that was another complaint. It's like they had gasoline. There was gasoline right there, and with all that, they could have easily blown up, and the movie would have ended that way. But like pretty much no survivors. That's pretty much how the movie should have ended. But oh my god, and like the and then the guy that he gets hit in the stomach with this thing, and I'm surprised he didn't die, but then he did, but they just dragged on his death up until the end there and everything. So yeah, that's another complaint I had about this movie, that it was too long. They kept dragging some of the stuff out, and I get it that they were trying to go with a 90-minute movie, and they failed at that. They could have chipped that. They could have chipped it at being that maybe like an hour, and I would say about an hour. And I think they could chunk like 15 minutes off the movie. I think that would have been passable. But yeah, and so yeah, but
yeah, I agree. This would have been better if it was the size of a Paw Patrol movie.
Yeah. Like maybe the movie should have been like 75 minutes. give or take.
Well, one of my dislikes about this movie was at the end, this guy comes over knocking on the window. Are y'all okay? Are y'all okay? The two girls get out of the car, and nobody mentions that the fact that a good section of the beach sank 6 feet. This whole section of beach is now in a 6-foot hole. And nobody says a thing. And yeah, they could have cut about 10 minutes off of that beginning party. Because, yeah, they covered every bit of information they needed to cover about the night before in about a 5-minute span. But no, they drugged that on for about 15-20 minutes for the night before, and then went on to the day of. Sorry. Indigestion.
Was it from this movie?
Partially. And the graphics throughout this movie they bounced around a lot. 1 minute you'd have some really good graphics, like when that first guy died, it showed his face melting away. The makeup work on that was really good. The graphics on the individual little tentacles randomly throughout the movie was good. Then you had a couple of the kills where the blood splatter, you could tell the blood was complete CGI, and the blood didn't even look right by any stretch of the imagination. And one thing that confused me, everyone it killed, it just drug them under the sand, no blood stain or nothing, except for that one boy. Him, it left a whole blood outline of his little ass across the sand. That confused the ever-loving shit out of me.
Until the next morning, where it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
But no one else got their own little blood outline except for him. He was special, Ed. And then, yeah, the ending was just, it kind of just was there. It really was. They kind of fell flat on the ending.
Yeah.
You know, she should have punched the guy. You know, he's with her. It was his choice. And it should have been the guy. And that got punched. She should have had a conversation with the girl, but still, wonderful. But there's that. I agree. Other than that, I agree with everybody else's comments. And she needs a new guy.
Well, they both do now.
Yeah, they kind of ain't got a choice in that option at this point.
Well, it's like, yeah, I'm hoping the next one will be better. And I hope they don't come across any more. I don't think they're ever going to the beach again.
Probably not. I was also confused on how nobody had shoes, like not even in the car. Like they had their bags and stuff. But you'd think that it's against the law to drive without shoes, or so everybody tells me. So wouldn't you you take them off to go to the beach? But if you drove there in a car, maybe the best place to take them off would be in the car, so that you
going
put
on
them on.
vacation when you need your shoes.
But yeah, so an entire movie that could have been handled with shoes.
Yeah, handled with shoes. Handled with still toe boots at this point. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Unless they're my shoes, then they usually have holes in them, so I'd be dead.
Dude, you just have to say, hey, I have holes in the bottom of my shoes, and you'll have a new pair within a week.
The shoes are expensive.
It's not my fault.
Especially mine.
Okay, we'll discuss the Vimes series of economics later.
Yes. So let's roll that beautiful nostalgia and Faye footage and not have.
Greetings and shabibans. We are the Retro Reductopus Cephala Podcast, a long-form bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
Yeah, that sounds good, but I don't know what all those words mean.
I think what Parasite Steve's trying to say is that on Retro Reductopus, we explore a range of retro goodness, from toys, video games, and movies, to cartoons, and even snacks and school lunches.
Oh.
And we do it all with a positive spin, a slew of killer guests, and some very adult language.
And you know what else is cool?
No.
This crazy show is part of the Your King Podcast Network with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
What's that?
And if waiting 2 weeks for a new episode gives you a sad, know that we drop bonus episodes all the time, like the off-format Crow's Nest and an interview series we call The Brig.
You can listen to Retro Reductopus on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any app that's cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all the things that make growing up awesome.
Oh, hello. I needed to hug my emotional support Cthulhu to get through that movie. Luckily, we have the Octoponder to watch all the wonderful things. And if you haven't read any of our stuff, please join our Fake Horror newsletter and try the books above. And
Yes.
and all of us have been published in something so far. So yay! You'll get to see his pictures in May. But back to the show.
Yes.
What did
Also,
you find us? Also,
I was going to say, if you missed last night where we had Mark L. Abbott on, not only did we interview them, but they also did over at Retro Redoctopus, and you can learn a lot. This man was brilliant, wrote some great stuff, and is an excellent storyteller and educator. So,
and you can find videos on YouTube of his films. So you can
yes.
watch his stuff, you can read his stuff, and he gives you such great stories. You'll
Mhm.
have to go see.
So,
Anyway,
okay, we going to rating and recommendations?
yes.
Okay,
What do you...
I'm giving it a 5.5 because the video quality was better. There were some special effects that didn't really annoy me. It kind of had me chuckle here and there. Um, I would recommend it for people who want something as a light kind of comedy horror type of thing. You know, like this isn't gonna scare you really, but if you need something in the background or you just want to kind of zone out, I guess this is all right. I'm not gonna watch it again, but some people really loved it. They might watch it again. Uncle Necro loved it, or else he wouldn't have made us watch it. So yeah. So recommended to that group of people that gets the horror thing and gets the B horror thing. Still wish it was shorter. 5.5. Tentacles.
Oh, right. Tom Dog. I don't know where I'm getting Rob from. Rob Dog. Robert is not here, and I'm sorry.
We miss him.
But anyway, Tom Dog.
I was going to give this an 8 out of 10. However, Jamie Kennedy was in this movie, so I am going to give this a 7 out of 10.
Alrighty.
It was I enjoyed it for the most part. I would have given it like maybe a little, and some of the effects did bother me, as I said, but which contribute to part of being a 7. Then then maybe if the effects were even better, I probably would have given it a 7.5 out of 10. But it was ruined by Jimmy Kennedy, so 8 out of 10. I mean, 7 out of 10.
He ruined the movie and it gained an extra point.
Yeah. Yeah. He was in the movie too long. He was too long in the movie.
Way too long.
Yes. As soon as he stepped out of the car, that would have been it. That would have been it. Then I would have given it the 8, but
You recommend it though?
Yeah. Oh, recommendation. Yes. What am I talking about? See, I'm dragging on too. See, thank you very much, Jamie Kennedy. Do I recommend it? Yes, I do recommend it. It's campy. It's cheesy. It's right in my alley and everything for an indie film. Would I watch it again? No. Or I'll just skip Jamie Kennedy's part. But yeah, would I recommend it? Yeah, I would.
Alrighty.
I give it 5 disappointed, perverted Asians. And no, I can't I can't in good conscience really recommend this because it's just.
I give it a 5. Would I recommend
Right,
it?
pour some in this. Pour some of that in there.
Yes. I would recommend it to the people who would like to see. If they ask for this type of thing, I will recommend it. Otherwise, I found it very meh, and I really don't want to watch it again. But other people might like it, hence why I'm like, hey guys, we have this group called Tomb of the Terrible. That's where I hide all the movies and links to the movies that we have links to, so you can find them and watch them with us. As soon as she spins the wheel, I put the link in the group.
Yes.
And then you'll be able to find it for next week.
And then you can suffer alongside us. One of us. One of us. One of us.
Anyway, please, onward with the other reviews and anything you found.
Okay, so this was fun. I was going for Amazon reviews, as our dear Uncle Necro used to do, and I accidentally clicked on Amazon reviews from the UK. So we are getting the Amazon reviews from the UK, and there aren't many. There are only 4. The first is from Mrs. S. Gillette. Excellent. And she gave it a 5 stars, and the name of her review is 5 stars. And she says, excellent. Next, we have Mark, who rated it 5 stars and named his review 5 star. All right, DVD that I seen. Davo gave it 5 stars. Great movie, smiley face. Fantastic, great movie. And our last one is from Alan Gerd, who put in 5 stars. Arrived on time. Susan loves it. I am is the title of his review. And his review is arrived on time. Susan loved it. I am not a horror fan. I prefer rugby union. So that's what you get from the UK.
Rugby union too.
And then over here, I grabbed some from IMDb. 1010. This is from Leather Cajun. For a no-budget, old-style monster movie, this one is a 10, is the title of this review. I was very pleasantly surprised by this movie. It should have been 60 minutes, but that's not what sells. At 60 minutes, the pacing, dialogue, acting would have all been perfect for an updated version of 50s drive-in monster movies. Enjoy it for what it is. This one says, best horror movie of 2015, 1010 from Kurt7825. Me and my 4-year-old niece loved it, although she did get really scared. Linda Fern 2007 says, cool horror movie. Great horror movie. Think Tremors, but on the beach. Lots of scares. Suspense keeps you on the edge. And then we have from Kaylee 7572102, 1010, the best horror movie since Hitchcock's The Birds. Exciting or ending, the best special effects and a great script make this film a must-see. I'm surprised the film wasn't nominated for an Oscar. Rarely have I seen so much tension in one film. I can't understand how this film was so lost on audiences. All the actors were terrific and made the film what it is, a modern classic of the horror genre. The acting performance of the actors is only comparable to that of Al Pacino in The Godfather or De Niro's Taxi Driver. I can't understand all the negative reviews at all. I have the film at home, both on VHS and 8K on Blu-ray, and I regularly watch it twice a day. There is nothing better.
That has to be sarcasm because
that has to be, because if that's not, that is the most sacrilegious review ever of all time.
And were there VHS at that in 2015?
She might have, he or she might have gone ahead and done it themselves. It was.
That was just with the Hitchcock thing. That was sacrilegious as hell.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I love reading those reviews. They're so much fun.
And the
That would
fact
hurt
that
my soul if I had one.
An Oscar-nominated performance. Where?
Taxi Driver.
From the monster?
The Godfather. All right. So it is time to spin the wheel to see what we are going to torment ourselves with next week. All right. Give me just a sec here.
That review killed brain cells.
Bum, bum, bum. Is everybody ready?
Yes.
I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Spinning the wheel. Yay! Next week.
We got this
Finally.
on DVD.
Killer
You gotta
Clown.
look this one up.
Outer Space. All right. So next week we have a movie we can actually look forward to watching.
I know, right?
This is one of the movies that scares me. I'm not scared of clowns, but I'm not scared of clowns, but there's a scene in this movie that has always really disturbed me. I'll have to see if it's as disturbing. I haven't seen it since I was like a teenager, so I'll have to see if it's as disturbing as it was back then.
I just think it's funny they made a video game on this movie here recently. Although it's more of a Fortnite style game.
Just shoot him in the nose.
It's strange.
Yes.
Okay. It's on MGM Plus, Fubo TV, Apple TV, and
it is a Tubi.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
Yep, it's a Tubi, so I shared the link in the group if you want to watch it.
It is to be.
And it is on DVD in our house right now, so we aren't that worried.
Oh, it's also on Pluto. Oh, okay. There's Tubi. There it is. Okay.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Alrighty. Delphine, where would you like people to find you?
You can find me, go to Facebook, go to Carrie, Kari Sanders. If you see this is me judging you. Yes, I'm a crow. I judge things. All the rest of my links to everything else are found there. You can go to my author page. You can go see my Amazon page. You can see my stuff with splash pages. You can find me here on many Sundays and most Mondays. You'll find me most Tuesdays over on splash pages, and we have now booked our first guest for July. We are booked all the way through there, as well as having a couple of Saturday guests that are international guests. So come visit us, and it'll be tomorrow night. Tom Dog will be visiting with us too, being a co-host. We're going to be interviewing Ian Flynn, writer of Sonic the Hedgehog and a bunch of Mega Man, and that's what we're going to be covering tomorrow night. So come check me out there. Ratatosker goes wherever I go, and I'm going to be hitting a couple cons the end of next month. So I'll have some pictures to share and stuff to tell you about that too.
Awesome. Tom Dog, what about you?
Okay. Yes, you can find me on the Bro Pro channel on YouTube at TomArcade69. I was supposed to do some shows over the weekend. However, I had I had to get some stuff to get behind me. Quotation. Long story. I'll talk about it on Thursday on Channel X, where I have this week. I'll be doing Pokemon Day. It's going to be a Pokemon special for all you Pokemaniacs out there. It's going to be a fun show because this Thursday is also the official day of Pokemon Day. So there's going to be a lot of cool stuff on there as well. And so you Pokemaniacs, be on the watch out for that. And then of course I'll be back in full effect this weekend with Wrestling Prime Elite on Saturday, and Friday I will do Wrestling Prime the original, the classic. So yeah, I got 2 different Wrestling Prime shows, and so yeah, I'm gonna be everywhere this week except for Wednesday. I need a day off.
That sounds awesome.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm pretty much hanging out with everybody this week. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So
and we are very blessed to get to have you.
Yes, and so yeah, I'm a little nervous about my debut tomorrow on Splash Pages, and but I think I'm gonna do just fine. So
you'll probably do better than I did.
Yeah.
What? It'll be good, everybody.
Okay.
You can find me in the closet, stuck in the steamer trunk.
Okay.
Let me out.
Okay, guys. All the Tomb of the Terribles are put on Chaos Gamer a la carte's YouTube channel. You know, this guy, you can, since he's on it too, I've been putting it on his YouTube channel because why not? And if you would like to find me, I'm here on the Elliott Network. I'm here at Fake Horror. And of course, as always, Corpse Garden Chronicles, Friday with the Library in the Blue Box. And if you actually want to read my stuff, come find my show, not my show, but my page, Jennifer Elliott. As for my show, most of them I'm on them on this network anyway, so why not?
Oh, watch Jenny. Get lots of stories.
Yes. And I will show you how to find lots of stories. If you ask, I will send you a new story every month in the newsletter with a poem and a picture. So please come join us. Okay, guys. I hope you guys have the best night ever. And thank you for joining us. As always, I am humble and never, ever the replacement because we will always miss him. Have a great night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.